Coming up on the Suze Orman Show, I'm going to tell you something that I didn't even know about when it comes to money. So you better stay tuned because it just could save you a whole lot of dough. Also,
I think we could definitely have a child within 2 years. We are in a good path to pay down most of our debt, and 2 years seems very reasonable.
And Jessica, you feel like 2 years is way too long.
Yeah.
And you asked me, can I afford it?
I would like to buy a Green Bay Packers helmet signed by the legends of Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers.
How many cars do you have?
I have a car and I have a truck.
Seems to me you should sell the truck and buy this. But anyway, go on.
My
laughing, everybody. Go on. You're not going to be laughing when I deny you. Hi, everybody. I'm Suze Orman, and you are watching The Suze Orman Show. Newsflash, newsflash. A few months ago, there was something that I learned about when it comes to money that I didn't really know. So I was figuring if I didn't know about it, chances are you probably don't either. It was last year when my mama wasn't doing so well. All of you know that my mom is 96 years of age, and things started to progress not so good for her, to tell you the truth. And it was time that somebody looked at me and said, Suze, it's time for you to call in hospice. I went, I'm not calling in hospice. Hospice is when they're on their deathbed and they're going to die the next day. That's not what's happening with my mama. And they said, Suze, now is the time for you to call in hospice. So I said, all right. I called up my mother's doctor. I said, what do you think? He said, absolutely. He ordered it, and then the hospice nurses and everybody started to come and meet with me. And here is what I didn't know. For those of you who have parents out there that are older, they're on Medicare, do you know that Part A of your Medicare, which is for hospitals, will pay for hospice for you if you are supposed to be on hospice? It's not that you're going to die tomorrow or the next week. Hospice actually will send in nurses 2, 3, 4 times a week, whatever it is that is needed to help bathe your mom or the person that you're talking about who's in hospice. We'll do a hospital bed for free. We'll do all of these services for you, even medication, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And you're supposed to be calling them in hospice and have it set up before something really goes wrong so that the one that you loved doesn't have to suffer, because it takes a while to do this. Now, why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because there were so many things that I was paying for out of my own pocket that I didn't need to be paying for my mom, because my mom qualified for this. So there are a few things in our system that are still so great. I hope they never take this away, to tell you the truth. They are so great that it could help you in a situation that you just don't know what to do. Todd in California, you're up.
Hi, Suze. Thank you so much for taking my call today.
Anytime.
I'm calling because I need your advice on helping my mother see her financial reality.
Yeah.
Right now, she really doesn't seem to be living within her means. I'm worried about her future.
How old is she?
She's 70.
Yep, go on, keep going.
Right. I currently pay the mortgage on the house where she lives, and she's living strictly on her pension and Social Security.
Yeah.
Part of what I'm paying also there for a while were some incidentals. And all these expenses started having an impact on my finances.
Yep.
I'm really trying to find out how and where can I get her to, or where do I stop helping?
Yeah, here's the thing. Is your mother capable of working still?
Somewhat, yes.
So it's somewhat, but she's 70, really isn't that old anymore today. But is she more homebound? Does she drive? Is she having trouble walking? Does she have an illness? Are any of those things checked? Yes, she does.
No, I think it's more opportunity for employment. She's trying.
She's trying. And did I hear you say that you pay her mortgage or her rent?
It's the mortgage. It's a house that I own.
Yes.
And I'm paying the mortgage on it.
All right. And you also probably put the down payment and everything on it as well.
Correct.
All right. Is your mother doing things that are frivolous with her money?
I think I would say yes, just because she's spending the same way as when she had a full-time job.
Yeah. So she's spending on things such as going out to eat, clothes, movies, things like that?
Right. Small things that, when they add up, makes a big dent.
All right. And have you tried, Todd, to sit down with her and say, Mama, you have no idea how much I love you. I will always keep you in this house. You never have to worry about having a roof over your head. I will do anything I can, but I am putting you on a budget. And this is how much money. And I'm going to cut down every one of your credit cards. I'm going to have you with me, Mama, close down your credit cards because you are not getting in credit card debt on my watch. And this is going to be your budget, Mom, and this is it. And either you make it for this or you break it with that. Have you tried that with her yet?
Not to the extent of actually making the budget. She seems rather reluctant. And
well, guess what? She doesn't have a choice, Todd. She doesn't have a choice because you can't continue to sacrifice your future and what's going on in your life and what it's going to cost you to live, because it's only going to get more expensive for you as time goes on. Inflation isn't going down, inflation is going up. So this is the time that you have to sit down with your mama while she's still young enough to really understand this and tell her this is the hardest thing you have ever had to do in your life, because I have to tell you it probably will be. But this is the fact. This is what she's going to do. We're getting rid of all of her credit cards because you are not going to let her do that. You're going to close them down and monitor her so that she doesn't open them up on her own. And she has no choice in this. So don't look at it like you're hurting her, because you're not. By hurting her and telling her this stuff, so to speak, in your mind, just understand that you are really helping her. You're not hurting her, you're helping her to wake her up to a reality that she needs to wake up to before she gets out of bed one day and has the biggest financial nightmare staring her right in the face. Also, please make sure that you have enough life insurance on yourself so that if, God forbid, something happened to you, because it'd be so cheap for you to have a term policy that it would go and pay off the home, it would pay everything so that Mama would be okay forever with or without you, my dear Todd. My heart goes out to you, but I know you can do this, big boy. Let's go to Florida. And Jeanette, you are on the Suze Orman Show.
Hi, Susie. My mom is a mess financially. She has this thing about buying real estate, and she still does own some property that works for her, but her credit is ruined due to some foreclosures. And even the home she lives in is in foreclosure, and I think she's even considering bankruptcy.
Yeah.
She's asked my sister and I for money and to take out mortgages in her name because she thinks she sees a good deal. And even after we say no, she still keeps bringing it up until we no longer want to be around her or see her. But I don't want to deprive her of her grandkids. I just don't know what to do. And she's even asked friends and family and asked me to ask my in-laws for a loan.
How much money is she asking for?
Like $30,000.
So not just a little amount of money. It's not like can I have $5,000 or $1,000 or $50? It's like, can you give me $30,000? She's like a houseaholic, yes?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so it's easy. You all need to have an intervention with her where you all need to come together, friends, relatives, children, everybody. Throw a party. Invite your mom to a party. And the party's going to be this. We are going to celebrate the fact that we love you, Mom. We're going to celebrate who we know you are, even though you don't have a clue. And we're all going to give you the gift of financial freedom. And this is what you need to hear from us all at once. Not one of us is ever going to give you a loan for any of this. So you don't have to come to us. You don't have to worry about it because the answer is going to be no. So don't come to one of us and ask us about it, because if you do, we're going to say no. There's no place else for you to go. So, Mom, you're going to stay right here. We're going to love you. Our hearts are open, but our wallets are closed. Let's go to Pennsylvania. Linda, suck to me.
Hi, Susie. Thanks for taking my question.
All right.
My boyfriend of 3 years and I are planning to move to Florida. He wants to buy our new home outright with his money. If something happens to him, his plan is to allow me to live in that home for as long as I want. Of course, I'll pay the expenses and taxes on the home, but the home will ultimately be left to his daughter.
Yeah.
I have some doubts about this arrangement. Is there a better way to handle this?
No, if he wants to buy something outright and he's still just your boyfriend of 3 years, what he's asking you for is to grant you what's known as a life trust, a life estate, so that you do have the legal right to stay in this house for as long as you want, but after your death, it goes to his daughter. Now, there may come a time that when you're not just boyfriend and girlfriend, where you actually have married, and he comes to love you and wants you more than his daughter and protecting his daughter, do you see? But here's the good news about this, and this is why I think you should also do it. If his daughter knows that eventually her future inheritance is going to come to her, and the new woman in the picture isn't going to be taking that away from her, she's more apt to like you and get along with you. Get what I'm saying?
We get along fine.
All right, but believe me, she's good. If that comes as she gets older, that will come into play, believe it or not. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't think there's anything wrong with him doing it this way. And if you want money, just simply take out a life insurance policy on him for even more than what a house would be, because he's still probably relatively young, so that if he did die, you could have the choice of either staying there, buying his daughter out, and or moving someplace else and buying something brand new. But either way, I don't think that's so bad what he wants to do.
I would like to be a young mom, and I'd ideally like to be done having kids by the time I'm 30, 32.
We're barely breaking even, bringing in the money that you're currently bringing in to pay off the expenses that you have now, let alone if you add the expense of a child to that debt. And later, when wanting something, ask me, can I afford it?
I want to get perpetual care for my family plot.
Is this something that you want to do?
Well, my mother thinks it's a waste of money.
Welcome back, everybody. So here's the question. When is a good time to start a family? My one-on-one is with Jessica and John. Now, they are newlyweds. They met at a Twins game and got married at one, too. Look at those two. Can you imagine? That's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Anyway, Jessica is ready to have a baby. Well, John, he's not quite ready yet. And money is at the heart of the issue. They are both 26 years old from St. Paul, Minnesota. Jessica is a personal care attendant and working on her master's. John works as a shipping manager, then at Costco on the weekends. He's also getting his bachelor's in accounting. These two are really busy, if you ask me. But anyway, Jessica, you wrote in, and before we talk, let me read part of your email to everyone. Susie, I want to have a baby so bad, but my husband won't allow it until we are in good financial standing, which is reasonable. However, his idea is 100% debt-free money to spare. I did the math, and having a child is not that ridiculous if you do it correctly. Remind me to ask you about what does that mean, doing it correctly. But anyway, you went on to say, I have no debt, and my husband has debt, but it's school, car, and our mortgage. Please let me know if I am the crazy one or if my husband is right and we need to be debt-free before we think about a child. Jessica, tell me about this. You're 26 years of age. My mama didn't have me until she was 38. So why are you in such a rush to have a baby?
I've always wanted to have children, and it's always been a thought in my mind. And it wasn't until I met John that I really found that person that I wanted to do that with. And ever since then, I've just been kind of on the train to start having kids early because I would like to be a young mom, and I'd ideally like to be done having kids by the time I'm 30, 32, and so that we can start our lives and just being young and being able to do everything at that age.
And so did I just pick up that you feel that your lives together will not really start until you have children?
Kind of.
Kind of. And again, 26 years of age, I hear you want to do it now. Is there any medical reason that you think you should be doing it right now?
Well, I do have some fertility issues where I will need to be on a medication about 2 to 3 months before starting the process of having kids, and I will need to be on that medication until I am pregnant.
And John, what is so unusual about your wife wanting to have your baby, sir, starting right now? Why do you feel that you don't want to see this happen until you're out of debt?
Well, a child is a variable expense that you can't plan for. Right now, if you looked at our financial information, it doesn't look very good. And there is really no hurry. We are very young. I think we could definitely have a child within 2 years. We are in a good path to pay down most of our debt, and 2 years seems very reasonable.
And Jessica, you feel like 2 years is way too long.
Yeah.
You do. All right. Let me ask you then another question. So I think everybody at home gets it. And I did pick up, though, in your email, you did say that having a baby was reasonable if you do it correctly. What does that mean when it comes to money? What did you mean by that?
Just not being extravagant and not having those expensive clothes and hundreds of dollars of toys each month, or having expensive birthday parties, and really not, and staying home and not having daycare and those types of things.
And you do know that the best laid plans can really go haywire, correct? So
Yes.
Let's put the baby aside for 1 second, the issue of the baby. Jessica, just a few months ago, you quit a job. You thought that you had enough money in savings and to do this because you were miserable in your job. You didn't want to stay in the job. And you found out that the money that you did have in savings, you thought that would be enough to last you, but you went through it, almost all of it, in 2 to 3 months, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So even though you thought you had enough money to do something, you already are exhibiting behavior that shows me you don't know what it really costs for you to do something because you thought you had enough, and the truth is you did not have enough. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Next, I'm just looking at your own finances. You currently have about $24,000 of debt. $700 on a student loan, $5,000 on credit cards, $11,000 on a car, and $7,000 on a bank loan used to consolidate old debt. Some of this debt is at 12 and 13% interest rates. So now we're in debt. You have to continue to pay that debt off. And really, we're barely breaking even, bringing in the money that you're currently bringing in to pay off the expenses that you have now, let alone if you add the expense of a child to that debt, especially if that child comes out and isn't in 100% perfect health. There are other expenses there as well that I need you, my dear Jessica, to stay realistic with. Do you know the average expense to raise a child until age 18 is about $226,000, not including college?
I did not know that.
You need to know that. So what I need you to do is stop looking at your husband, who obviously loves you very, very much. He was irresponsible with money years ago. He learned the hard way. He hasn't been this way his whole life. He's now financially responsible because he knows what it felt like to not be a good financial success. And he doesn't want to experience that anymore. And the happier he is, the more secure he happens to be, the better off your relationship will be. Want me to give you an action plan of what I think you should do?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. Don't be so sad, my dear Jessica. I'm saving your financial lives here. I know you want a baby, but more than a baby, you want your husband to be happy and you want yourselves to have a good relationship, right?
Right.
You have time on your side. You can do this. But first, you have to give birth to your financial children and show that you can take care of them. All right, here's your 3-year baby plan. Number 1. You don't have a will or a trust, you need to do them. Number 2, you don't have a lot to cut, so you need to make more money. If you can bring in an extra $800 to $1,000 a month, you can be out of debt in just 13 months. Here's how. I want you to line up your credit cards and bank loans, highest to lowest interest rate. I want you to pay minimums on everything, but I want you to add the extra $800 to the highest rate card. Once that's paid off, I want you to add that total payment into the next highest interest rate debt. And you keep rolling it down until everything is paid off. Then you can start saving that $1,000 a month. In 2 more years, you are going to have more than $24,000 extra saved. Here's the bottom line. You are not in any way, shape, or form hitting a home run out of this ballpark with you being able to have a baby right now. I need you to get realistic about what you have, what you don't have, and what it really costs you to live life, and make everything that you currently have make sense. You need more life insurance, need to refinance your home and get a fixed rate mortgage, need a will, need a trust. Bingo. And then maybe a year or 2 from now, come on back on the Suze Orman Show, and I can tell you if you have been approved or denied. Up next, you can't afford to miss. Can I afford it?
I am looking at a 2-man crew racing boat. I'm a single father, raised my son, and he's now 16, and we love kayaking.
Can one go out and rent a 2-man crew racing boat? Also,
I would like to buy a Green Bay Packers helmet signed by the legends of Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers.
your wife wants me to deny you, is that correct?
Oh, yes, she does.
There it is. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, sorry. We could do anything with me, couldn't we? What do you want to buy?
2-man crew racing boat.
Perpetual care for my family plot.
Sony Alpha A65.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Can I Afford It segment. This is where you call in. You tell me what it is you want to buy. I have to tell you the truth. Some of the things you want to buy just drive me crazy, but that's not the point. The point is, can you afford it or not? So I will ask you a few questions. You will answer me, and I will tell you if you are approved or denied. Ready? Let's go and have some fun. Jeremy, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. How are you?
I'm good, Jeremy. What do you want to buy?
I would like to buy a Green Bay Packers helmet signed by the legends of Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers. They are history in the making. They're amazing. I'm a huge Packers fan, and I really want to add this to my memorabilia.
So you want to spend almost $1,500 on a football helmet?
Yeah, my wife thinks I'm nuts.
Yeah, you probably are nuts. So just so I make sure of this, your wife wants me to deny you. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, she does. That's actually my fiance.
So that's why she's your fiance. If you buy this, she may always just stay your fiance.
She could. She very well could.
Yeah, because she's probably saying, Jeremy, you could have paid that money on me out of my little ring, but no, you want it on a helmet. Boyfriend, show me the money. Let's see if you can make a financial touchdown with this one. Go on.
All right. My take-home income is $4,364 a month.
Yeah.
My expenses are a total of $2,876 with $725 involved with my rent.
Yep.
My debt is $34,000 on car loans, which range from 3.4% up to 4.2%.
Whoa! How many cars does one man need? How many cars you got? Do you have one card for all your football memorabilia? I can't even say it. It doesn't matter. How many cars do you have?
I have a car and I have a truck because I travel a lot, and I thought it'd be a great idea to get a car, and now my truck just sits in the garage. So not sure why I did that, but it seemed like a great idea.
Seems to me you should sell the truck and buy this. But anyway, go on. He's laughing, everybody. Go on. You're not going to be laughing when I deny you, but go on.
My savings is $43,000 liquid, and I have $151,000 in retirement.
And you are the ripe old age of 34, and you want Miss Orman to approve you to buy a Green Bay Packers helmet. And your wife-to-be doesn't want me to. She sent an email saying, will you please deny him, Susie? We'll do anything if you just deny him. So because I'm always partial to women, are you remembering what I'm going to do right now? You are approved, Jeremy. You have the money to go and waste it on this helmet and put it in the truck that doesn't go anywhere in your garage. All right, Brian, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I am looking at a 2-man crew racing boat. I'm a single father, raised my son, and he's now 16, and we love kayaking and stand-up paddleboarding, and he's in crew now. He's been in it for a couple years at high school, and something fun for us to do together, and he might be able to teach his old dad some new tricks.
Yeah, and so $5,500, that's just for the boat. Do you need anything to get the boat to the water? Do you need anything else, or that includes the trailer, everything?
It actually fits on the rack that I use for an old kayak that I have, so that would cover everything. We already have the life vest and all those sort of things.
And I just have to ask one more thing. Can one go out and rent a two-man crew racing boat to just practice on? Can you go and rent one?
You probably could. In the lakes out here where I'm from, it would be challenging to find a place to do that because it's not a common sport.
Okay, and this one's brand new, correct?
Correct.
All right, show me the money, my dear Brian.
All right, my income is $5,183 month take home. My expenses are $6,062. That's for the next couple months till I pay off my son's tuition, and then I'll be about $500 discretionary income after that.
You got it?
I have no credit card loans, no car loans. My only debt is my mortgage. It's $88,000 on about a $300,000 house, 5-year fixed at 2.55%. My savings, I have $12,000 liquid, about $34,000 in investments, and $212,000 in retirement.
How are you going to pay for this?
I was going to pay about half cash right up front, and then the other half just to buy me 30 days on credit card. I've never paid interest on credit card, so that would really eventually come out of my savings as well.
All right, so I so want you to be able to do this. I think it's a great thing, and therefore I have denied you because I don't care whether you put something on a credit card and you pay it off at the end. You only have $12,000 of an emergency fund. You told me that your expenses are what per month? What did you tell me your expenses were?
$6,062.
Yes, and $5,500 after you pay off your son's whatever, the college tuition. $5,500 times 8 is about $50,000. You are so short from having an 8-month emergency fund, it isn't even funny. Boyfriend, go and find someone who has one and they don't use it anymore, and they'll pay you to take it off their hands. But you have been denied. So Denise, what do you want to buy?
I want to get, first of all, I wanted to tell you, Susie, I've watched you for a lot of years now, and I've really taken your advice to heart.
Oh, good, sweetheart. So I'm looking at this. Tell me, what is it that you want to buy?
I want to get perpetual care for my family plot.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. What does $25,000 buy you?
Perpetual care for the family plot where my grandparents, my father, and my aunts and uncles are buried.
Yeah. So what do they do? Do they what do they put?
They clip the lawn and they mow the grass or the hedges and all that stuff.
And how do you know they actually do that?
I don't.
You don't. So 25.
I have seen other plots.
You have, and when you go to see them, they look like they're manicured, correct?
Yes.
All right. Is this something that you want to do?
Well, I kind of don't, but it was part of my father's will, and this from the proceeds.
So now I'm kind of getting it. Your father died. In his will, he left you money and the instructions, most likely. Can you buy this for us? But you don't want to spend the $25,000 on it. You think it's a waste of money. Is that what I'm reading between the lines?
Kind of. My mother thinks it's a waste of money. My family, the other members of my family said because it was in his will.
Was your mother your father's wife when he died?
No.
Oh, so I see. His ex-wife doesn't want him to be perpetually taken care of. Girlfriend, show me the money.
Okay. I have $4,095 in monthly income.
Yep.
I have $3,091 in expenses.
Yeah.
I have no credit card debt.
So far, so good.
I have $129,000 home loan.
So I'm looking at this. Wait. Let's just stop for a second. You have $425,000 in investments, $89,000 liquid. How much of what you have in those investments and liquid came from your pops?
The $425,000 and about $50,000 liquid.
All right, you listen to me. Your father left you a significant amount of money. He requested in his will to do that for him. You better go ahead and do it. You are so approved. It is your duty to carry out a will or a trust and his wishes. Look how much money he gave you. Are you kidding me? Do not Do not listen to your mother on this one. All right, Keith, what do you want to buy?
Hi, Susie. I'm such a big fan of yours.
Thanks,
you have
Keith.
no idea how much you've helped me and my family the last couple of years. Thank you.
Yeah, but you can't butter me up. This is the Can I Afford It segment. If I don't think you can afford it, oh, I will deny you faster than a New York minute. Go for it.
I believe it. I'm looking to purchase a Sony Alpha A65. It's $999, and the use of it is going to be to take photos of my kids. I got two daughters, a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old, and I want to catch their moments as they grow up. My brother and I also do martial arts, and want to catch us competing.
So you need it because you need the speed on the shutter that all the other little cameras that are $200 that would have taken beautiful pictures for your children, but it won't capture in your mind you competing. Is that correct?
Right, exactly. The shutter speed is like 10. It flashes.
I got it. Show me the money.
Okay. I take home $12,466 per month, including rental income.
Yeah.
I have $6,297 in expenses per month. I have $521,000 mortgage for my primary at 4.88, $232,000 in investment at 5.75%, and a $3,000 heat loan.
And savings, you have $56,000, $3,000 in investment, $16,000 in retirement. You are 32 years of age. How are you going to pay for this?
You're going to pay cash.
Guess what? You're approved, boyfriend. I personally think you should just get a little one so you can carry it in your pocket. You're not going to want to carry that around with you, but that's just my opinion. Want to be part of the Can I Afford It segment? All you have to do is go to my website, SuzeOrman.com, and you'll find the information that you need to know there to come and play with me right here. Next, I tackle trending topics in Ask Susie. Why has it taken you almost 3 years to decide, oh, I'm going to now go back to school as an X-ray tech? This scares me when that happens. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Hi, everybody. So here's what I want you to know. If you want to be in control of your life when you're on television, the best place to do it is right here in the control room, especially at CNBC. If you want to contact us, here are the ways that you can do it. You can send me an email. You can join me on Facebook. You can join Twitter with me. Best way, my favorite way, is to send me a tweet, put hashtag AskSusie, and it comes right to us here at CNBC. Let's see what's trending right now. All right, driving my life. I wanted to hear driving my life crazy, but anyway, you didn't put that. But I really need help. Laid off since 2009. Should I go for a 2-year program at community college for X-ray tech? I will have to use some student loans. Listen to me, driving my life. How many times have I said, you are not to go back to school simply because you cannot find a job? Why has it taken you almost 3 years, maybe even over 3 years to decide, oh, I'm going to now go back to school as an X-ray tech? This scares me when that happens. When you were laid off in 2009, you should have said, I've always wanted to be an X-ray tech. I'm going to do that now. But no, that's not what you did. So I'm asking you to stop, think twice. Why haven't you been able to get a job in the past 3 years, assuming that you've been laid off since 2009? That's kind of what it implies. So think twice before you do this, because remember, student loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy in most cases. If you get involved in something and it's not what you love and you owe money for it, you're going to be really in big trouble. So I would do an X-ray of myself to see what's behind the reason that I really want to go to school. Let's see what else is trending. Jessica thinks we're 30 and 53% of our 401k is in bonds. That's wrong, isn't it? Yeah, that's really wrong. But it's not just because you're 30 that makes it wrong, because the truth of the matter is it would be possible that if interest rates were coming down, that bond funds, the prices would be going up. So going into bonds isn't necessarily a function of age. It's a function of what's happening in the economy. When interest rates are going down, prices go up. You might want to be 100% in bonds at that point in time. But here is the real problem. In a 401k, they do not have, in most circumstances, individual bonds. They have bond funds. Have you been watching the Suze Orman Show? Do you know on the top 10 hate list of investments, really high up there for me is what? Bond funds. If interest rates go up, the prices of bond funds go down. Bond funds do not have a maturity. They have an expense ratio. Do you have long-term bond funds, short-term? What do you got there? So at this point in time, given that interest rates can't go down any further, and the only place interest rates can go is up, I would not be in a bond fund. Are you kidding me? No matter what age you happen to be at. Okay, let's go now to the webcam. Josephine in Florida, what question do you have for me?
Hi, Susie. How are you?
I'm fabulous, girlfriend.
My question is, my husband and I, we both work hard. We have 3 kids, and we have acquired some credit card debt and student loan debt. I just started back to work from being a stay-at-home mom, and he makes more than me. We were wondering, how do we pay our monthly bills so that it's fair? And, do we do it on a percentage basis or just split them 50-50? Since, we are very different in how we manage our disposable income. I'm more rigid while he's more spontaneous.
Yeah.
How do we make it fair so that we both feel like we're all, or that we're both...
I got it, girlfriend. I got it. You don't have to give birth to 5 questions here. Just one is enough. Here's what you need to know, is that you enter into a relationship, into a marriage, and you come in as an autonomous human being, used to paying your bills and everything on your own. So I'm a firm believer when it comes to marriage or any type of mingling of funds, you should have your own account, he should have his account, but you should have a joint account for joint expenses. How do you fund that account for joint expenses? Now, I'm sure he's wanting to do this. If you have $3,000 a month of expenses, let's just say, he wants you to put in $1,500 and he'll put in $1,500, right?
Yes.
So that's 50% of your joint expenses you are dividing equally that way. Here's how you're going to do it. Let's say he makes $7,000 a month. And let's say you make $3,000 a month because you've just gone back to work.
Yeah.
Totally, that is $10,000. You are to divide $3,000, your joint expenses, by the $10,000 of after-tax income that you are bringing home. That is 30%. That means you are to give 30% of your $3,000, or $900 in this case. He gives 30% of his $7,000, which is $2,100, to make up $3,000. It's equal percentages that way. Then you are contributing fairly. And I have a feeling he's not going to want to do that, but that is how you do it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. I'm going to go back into the studio and take more calls right after this break. And you are going to transfer to a card that's 0% for how long?
Oh, I don't know yet.
They want you to do a balance transfer, and they're hooking you in. Yeah, they're reeling you in by saying 0%. But here's what you have to get. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Let's go to Elizabeth, coming to us all the way from New York. Girlfriend, go for it.
Hey, Susie. Financially speaking, I think I'm pretty independent, but I'm never late with any of my payments, and my FICO score is 710.
Yeah.
I do, however, have $9,000 in credit card debt on 2 cards.
Yep.
And I would like to open up another card at 0% and transfer one of my cards, the one with the bad interest on it, over to that card and save on some interest.
Question before you go on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the current interest rate that you're paying on that card?
It's about 16.99.
All right, 16.99. And you are going to transfer to a card that's 0% for how long?
Oh, I don't know yet.
Oh, well, you better know
well,
yet.
I'm looking at different cards.
All right, but here's the key. Normally, when you do a balance transfer from one card to another, why do you think a company wants you to do that? They're paying your no interest rate to them versus 17% here. They want you to do a balance transfer, and they're hooking you in. Yeah, they're reeling you in by saying 0%. But here's what you have to get. Normally, they will charge you a percentage balance transfer fee. Could be up to 5% of the amount of money that you're transferring. So 5% on $9,000, let's just say it was that, right, is $450. So now you're having to pay $450 up front just to transfer. So be curious if you're really saving that much in the long run. Do you see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you need to check that out. I personally, when it comes to credit cards, I like credit cards at credit unions. Credit unions are the way to go, but before you do a balance transfer, you need to know how long is that 0% interest rate good for? What is it going to cost you to do a balance transfer? And everything that is involved before you do it. Got that? Up next, one more thing that I want you to know. It is not easy for me. Read what I am saying, read my lips. It is not easy for me to say to you that you can't afford to have a baby. Welcome back to the Suze Orman Show. Okay, we're almost at the end of the Suze Orman Show, but there is still one more thing that I want you to know. Beginning of tonight's show, we had Jessica and John on, and I essentially told them that they couldn't afford to have a baby right now. And I always get so many emails from all of you when I say you can't afford to have a baby, and yet you think, what are you talking about, Suze? You always say people first, then money. What do you mean, Suze? I want to have a baby. It is not easy for me. Read what I am saying, read my lips. It is not easy for me to say to you that you can't afford to have a baby, but it's a lot easier for me to tell you the truth about your finances than for you to do something and possibly make a serious financial mistake. Now you've made a financial mistake, it costs you more than you think, and you think your child can't feel that something is going wrong? Of course they can. So it's not that I'm saying to you, you are not to have a baby forever. It is out of the picture forever. Just if you're young, if you have time on your side, can you just wait until you have your finances a little bit more together? I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. Got that? Now you know. So until next week, there's really only one thing that I want you to remember when it comes to your money, and it's this. People first, then money, then things. Now you stay safe. Bye-bye.